Bitcoin is going lower. So if you look at the chart and you have been following along, you know that I am already in a short position. And what is interesting is that on Friday, on the daily update, we do these updates every single day, shorter term trading and market reading. If you look at this, the show was titled, Bitcoin will trick you this weekend. And the reason why it was gonna trick you is because I was telling you that it's gonna come back to the 64,500-ish region and most likely reject from there. Well, guess what happened? Bitcoin is there. Bitcoin came from down here all the way to the 64,500-ish region and seemingly is rejecting. So today I'm gonna talk about why I believe Bitcoin is going lower. What am I doing with my long position? Is this actually the reversal or we're gonna continue higher? All that in this show. Subscribe to the channel. If you are new, because we had a show with 𝗏𝗏𝗏, I know a lot of you have enjoyed it and a lot of you have seen it. If you are new to this channel, my name is 𝗏𝗏. I do short time frame trading. Short time frame meaning maybe a week long, maybe 2 days long, maybe 5 minute long. But what I do, 5-minute update every single day, 5 to 10 minutes here, and we're trading on shorter time frames, so accumulating more money so we can all that invest in crypto. So if that sounds good, subscribe to the channel. And there's a community, it's completely free. It's basically a channel where I share my trades, my thoughts and all that. You can join in there as well. Okay, let's go. Number one, what I said here basically came to fruition, right? So I said that we need to have this push. The reason why we needed to have this push is because markets always retrace 50%. So if I pull that from the very top, with this final wick, we had we not only had an hour-long market structure shift or a lower low here on this level, but then we had this liquidity inducement trap, which basically means that it seemed like it is going to reverse. This is why I got into a short, but then it didn't came back to the 4-hour 50%. That we basically did that, liquidated everyone, and now it is time to go lower. Here's what I'm looking at. A lot of you might be thinking, who have been watching the show for a long time, is that, okay, 𝗏𝗏, but this here is a new higher high. So even though we had a lower low on this level, this is a new higher high. So surely we come back 50 and go higher. That is a possibility, but you always have to look at it from a higher time frame perspective, okay? So when I look at this, I say, what do we have here? One, we have a 50% retrace. Liquidity has been swept. All this liquidity that we had here has been swept. There was an elevator down, staircase up, final liquidity inducement, and a final push and immediate rejection from that level. That tells me that the probability of Bitcoin falling off a cliff, especially seeing this liquidity here, is very, very high. Here is two main scenarios that I'm looking at. One, I actually drafted this in the Telegram before the whole fiasco happened. I said that we're gonna go, this is the plan basically, and I outlined these levels, which I thought were gonna be respected, and then it went a little bit higher, but ultimately this is what I think is going to happen still. So here's what I'm looking at. What I wanna see is the following. I don't say I wanna see, I'm obviously that's what I wanna see, but the highest probability is the following. We are going to see there is liquidity here, and here, right? So what I could see is that it has a little bit of a push and then a continuation lower, possibly breaking 63. If 63 breaks, that establishes a 4-point structure, and that is enough for it to continue lower to sub 60,000, most likely. This is the highest probability. I am in a short position. My stop loss is up here, 65,000. You see these positions already live. I posted them. This is, I would give it 60-70% probability that this is what is going to happen. The second scenario is that we see the market push a little bit higher, right? This has a smaller possibility, but it can happen. Why? Because on the 4-hour, there is no 3 consecutive candles, so you could argue this is nothing else but just a retrace to this, and then we're gonna make a new high and then continue lower from there. Again, I don't really think that is what's happening. I give it a 30-40% probability, but it can happen. How I'm preparing for that? Well, I just have my stop loss in. If this starts pushing, I'm gonna just monitor all these order blocks up here from above 65,700. Just look for a market structure shift. Once that happens, I'm gonna take a short just like I did here. I'm gonna post it in the Telegram channel, and then you'll be able to see it and simply ride that again to sub 60. I give this probably like a 30-40% probability. I don't think this is what's happening, but it can be. And then the third scenario is that it does just start going down from here. I think this is also a very high likelihood. I think if we sweep here on London, so you can actually just look at the sessions, I do believe that we might even actually sweep this Asia. I'm not sure. We might even squeeze that and then go lower, or just retrace to this level and then go from there. Very important, Friday the markets weren't open, so all this US-Iran deal falling apart, that's all new for the US market. So again, I do expect a massive sell-off to happen, something like this. So that would probably look like, you know, if I just zoom this out, something like this is exactly what I would expect, right? So a little bit of a push, a little bit of a retrace, and then a fall of clip on New York. possibly something like that, and then in the short. If I get stopped again, no worries, I'm just gonna wait for another 15-minute market structure shift and continue from there. On the higher time frame, I see nothing else other than, you know, what I just explained. Maybe it comes back up to the 66,000 and then rejects from there, but ultimately I do believe that that is happening now. Built up liquidity is there, so sub 60,000, possibly sub 59 is in the cards. That is what I'm looking at. The second thing that I think is worth paying attention to is the WTI. Now, I have been long in oil. You know that I have been long in oil also in the competition, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But I have been long in oil. Reason is a multiple fold. One of them is markets always retrace 50%, right? So if you look at the weekly level down here, and you say this is the weekly 50% retrace, I'm just gonna have to have a lower time frame confirmation to long. And I remind you that when we were down here and there was a big sell-off and the big news and whatever, and I said I'm long in oil because I have seen this weekly retrace, and after it came back along the oil down here, when this happened, everybody was thinking this is not going to happen because the weekly level is just not important, but it is very important. So if you look at this, and you say this is the weekly retrace, I go down onto the daily chart and I just look at what is actually happening. The weekly should, in my opinion, close positive here, right? And then we can have one more flush, but ultimately, I just walk down on the time frames and I'm looking for a confirmation for a long. On the hourly chart, you see this retrace up to this level. So I would not be surprised if this gets big through and then moves from there. But ultimately, I would also not be, I would also want to long it. So the moment I get a little bit of a retrace here, I'm going to let you know. The moment I get a 15-minute market structure shift, something like this, I am going to long oil again. I have closed my position. I let you know it was up here. I have closed my position on 30% profit because there was a lot of uncertainty, but I am going to long again. And I wanted to tell you one more thing because it's so relevant. We always talk about trading, and a lot of people misunderstand trading as gambling, and oh my God, you can't really trade the charts. And there was this competition on Solana where Matthew, who is the head of product marketing at Solana, challenged me for a trading competition, for a 1 week long trading competition. And this is the current stand on there. Now, I have been taking an approach. If you look at my statistics here, 57% win rate, 16 trades that I have taken, very reasonable leverage. All I want to show you here is that trading is not gambling. It's just about how you approach trading and how you look at trading. On the opposite hand, I love 𝗏𝗪. You know, he's under pressure, obviously, and lots of things probably happening with him. But 25% win rate, 100 fills. And I remember doing the same shit, and it wasn't working. It's just very important that you have a level-headed thing. But I enjoyed this competition because the challenge for me wasn't to win, but actually to consistently follow my trading plan and not you know, just go gamble it away. Now, what happened is TradeStars, they are not paying sponsors of ours, but they reached out to us and they are like, hey, do you want to do a competition? We would fund it partially for your community. And I said, what would it be? So what they did is, they did a competition for us. It's going to be happening this week, Wednesday. So 2 days from now, it is happening. I'm myself going to compete. The winner is going to get $4,000, okay? It's $30 to get enrolled. This is all a game, right? So join in if you want to compete against me. I'm going to be live trading on X. It's going to be a 2-hour long trading competition. I'm going to hook up a shisha, and it's going to be an all fun thing only for our community. And even the first 72 places win $50 each, which means that if you enroll for $30 and you're at least better than 50% of the people that enroll, because we're gonna have about 100, 200 people, you're still winning $50. So if you're number one, it's $4,000. If you're third, it's $500. If you're second, it's $1,500. So the way it works, again, it's a competition for $30. You click on enter competition. There's a link in the description. You go card or crypto. You can check out with whatever you want. You write your name, email, sign up. And once you do that, it immediately just gets you in. They have stars and all that stuff, but you will not have to worry about all that. You will be enrolled. You will be dropped on this page, and under my tables, you will see the competition happening Wednesday. So it's going to be very early for the US, so you can wake up early and join, participate before work. And it's going to be midday lunch break for EU, so you guys will be able to join. Again, there's a link in the description. Go down, fill this in, and come compete with us. I think it is going to be pretty fun, and if it works, we might make it into like a monthly thing where we all compete against each other every single month. So again, the reason why I like this is because you don't have to put up $200, $300, $1,000, whatever that is. You can just join in $30 and test yourself in the arena yourself as well. Now, I'm just saying that if you guys want to beat me, I mean, this is what you gotta be preparing for, okay? So If you want to come and beat me, even if you just come and put $30 to gamble on, it's also fine. But if you want to beat me, I'm not going to be going apeshit. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. There's a link in the description. Truly appreciate every single one of you. Tomorrow we'll be back. Watch out for Bitcoin. I do believe we are going lower. Watch out for other possibilities. I'll update you in the Telegram. And subscribe and join in. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Ciao, ciao.